The next honored guest I have at the SIHH 2018 is Edouard Meylan. He is CEO of Moser and Company, Moser Cie, as it's written on the logo. Edouard, very warm welcome this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to you.
You look tired.
Already?
You had I think so. You had an extreme day yesterday.
A short nights. You know, the fair is always quite intense, but that's good.
Yeah.
Things are happening.
Yeah. Edouard, the brand is working fine on so many little details always.
Yeah.
Once it's the dial, once it's a complication, you always highlight something, you always try to bring it to the point and you avoid to put logos on it. What's the novelty this year and what's the highlight you worked on this year so that the real watch aficionados get excited again?
Well, we have 2 new movements this year. So, you know, in 12 years we have developed 12 movements.
Yeah.
So this year 2. It's quite an achievement for our team of engineers. We have a flying tourbillon, which is the first for Moser, flying automatic tourbillon. As you know, we are producing the hairsprings and all the movement internally. So very integrated manufacturer. And that's a beautiful concept tourbillon. As you said before, Moser is known for those beautiful dials, no logo, no indexes. We try to go back to the essence. That's why we called it the essence of tourbillon.
You highlight one detail, you go and you push it really for the details, and then you can avoid the logo because it's obvious what kind of watch it is. Yeah, the connoisseur would know.
Exactly. We don't need to be recognized by everybody. Moser is very rare, but at the same time, the philosophy is let's try to rethink all the different complications with our identity. This minimalism, the fumé dials, the finishing on the movements, etc., etc. And always trying to be ingenious also on the mechanical side. And that helps me develop and decide how we develop the products.
The tourbillon you hold in your hand is...
Yeah, it's a 42 millimeter, 20 pieces limited edition in white gold with a beautiful rotor, 3 days power reserve. Yeah. It's a double hairspring, so there's 2 hairsprings on the tourbillon, as I said, produced in-house.
It's a technology you developed?
We developed, yeah. We share it with a few of our clients, but it's developed by our team, and it's a modular tourbillon. So it means that you can take the tourbillon out and replace it by a new one. That's very practical for servicing, for example. Yeah. So a beautiful piece that really...
Is anyone able to service such a watch?
Yeah, I mean that's the key. I mean you don't have to be a watchmaker specialized in tourbillons to be able to service it, since you can exchange the module. Okay. But so obviously the tourbillon. You would trust? No, we train them. But we have service centers pretty much everywhere around the world. And
I was wondering if any watchmaker could take care of such complicated watches.
Well, they have to get trained.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Good. We will film the watch afterwards in detail. Especially, I want to have a brief look
at the second one.
No, I want to have a brief look with the camera with our macro lens on the beautiful tourbillon execution. Yeah, fantastic.
Thank you.
And now this is a highlight that comes now.
Yeah, well,
I like the kind of time indication if there are no hands.
Yes, exactly. I think
playing around with time, showing the time, and not using hands.
That's kind of what created modern watchmaking. Yes, the star wheels from AP in the 70s, and the inspiration there was those kind of satellite movements. So here we have stationary satellites, 3 of them, indicating the hours and rotating every hour, and a rotating minute indication. So you can see here.
Maybe you have to
show. You see it's 11:20, 11:30.
Okay, we see it small, but we are filming it afterwards. No problem.
And then at 60, the other time kicks in, etc., etc. So a beautiful piece. It's Moser, it's modern, but it's still elegant design in a 42 millimeter as well, white gold, automatic. It's a module that we developed together with Lens, our sister company. Okay. The engineers collaborated on that. Yeah. And that's the kind of synergies we have in our very small group. And we're very proud of this movement. I think it's the best launch we ever had since the perpetual calendar back in 2006. It's been a tremendous success since yesterday when we launched it. So very exciting time.
People are seeking a little bit for another way of indicating time.
Yeah, and at a reasonable price. Here we're talking 32,000 Swiss francs, so it's below 30,000 in euros for 60 pieces in white gold with such complication. It's incredible. So I think we really have here something in a very nice sweet spot.
The dial here, I'm not sure. I'm looking. It's fumé. No, it's not.
It's always fumé.
It's
yeah.
always,
so it's a funky blue fumé.
It's
always subtle.
Light.
But you see with the macro, you see the darker.
Yeah, now
rim.
I see. Now I can. Okay, now I see. Yeah. Wonderful piece. Wonderful piece.
Thank you very much.
And there is another and a last one. That's what you have on the wrist.
Yeah, one of the other highlights is the Blue Lagoon.
Perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a new color. I like to say sometimes we have accidents when we create those dials. They're very complicated to create. And here in the Ventura small second 39 millimeter, we have this Blue Lagoon. It's kind of in between. It's a turquoise. Blue is very difficult to produce, and sometimes it's a little bit different. And this series was very different, and we created a special.
I assume it will change its look depending on the
light. Yeah, if you go in the sun and stuff like that. That's what's beautiful about those dials. Become the trademark of Moser in a way. That's why we don't even have to put a logo. Yeah. We recognize the dial is our signature.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about also developments in terms of movement, complications. You have now integrated a tourbillon, you have done a lot of other complications. I haven't seen a chronograph yet.
Working on it, 2019.
Is this something you are fit?
Yeah, so we have we're working on a modular chronograph for our entry level based on our automatic. And we're working on a more complex chronograph, so monopoussoir type of thing.
I think there should be one in your collections.
Yeah, so there should be two.
Are you going to surprise us with that chronograph in kind of the way you are going to execute it, by readability or by how it...
We're still working on the movement, so in terms of readability it's going to be still the next step. Once we have the movement more advanced, then we can decide how we display. But yes, it should...
I'm asking the question because you have been reducing the perpetual calendar to minimalism.
But that's what I like about the monopoussoir with all the hands at the center, things like this, because that's what Moser stands for. You know, it should look like a three hands, but it's a chronograph. So not both of them, but one of them will be like that. Yeah.
Okay, very fine. The hairspring department, I recently had the chance to see it together with you in Neuhausen. For bigger audience, your hairspring department is pretty well developing in the sense of that you're doing a small series for your clients, and you're really able now, after you've been investing a lot of, let's say, brain power, also money there, so you can deliver specific hairsprings to clients. Tell me a little bit. So it's still the big issue for companies to get hairsprings that are made that are made on request in small quantities.
Yeah, because the big groups. I mean, there's 10 brands, 10 companies in the world maybe producing hairsprings, and most of them are not very flexible, right? Because they're doing big volume, standard design. Our specialty is really like small volumes from 1 to 5,000 pieces on demand. We can do any size, probably the smallest in the world, different material like the paramagnetic, the Straumann material. We can do the double hairspring, we have special curves. So we actually supply a lot of the independent brands, but also some of the big brands when they have special projects. When their watchmakers specialized on the movement come to us and say, listen, this is what we have developed, but we need something to create the time, what can we do? And then our engineers work and help them.
And you have been developing a new type of hairspring, and anti-magnetic type of hairspring?
Paramagnetic one. Yeah, it's a niobium titanium alloy. It's a new alloy that we have developed over the last 7 years, and we're starting now in very, very small production to implement it in a few pieces. It's still not industrialized, reason why we do 100 maybe a year, not more. But I think it's very important for the future, as silicium will be implemented in more and more watches in the entry level. We need an alternative.
Massey just started implementing silicium hairspring in its watch, in the Chromatic.
And I think in the future there will be more and more. I think silicium is great for entry level since you cannot modify the curve and the shape of the hairspring. But for high-end watches like ours, we need an alternative, and that's where the niobium titanium.
You will find.
We believe this. It's very strategic. Yeah.
Thank you also for the update.
Thank you very much.
Talking about Precision Engineering, that's the sister. No, it is not a sister company.
Yeah, it's part of the same holding, and that I'm running under the same roof.
So this is just for information. So it's Precision Engineering. Thank you, Edouard, for the update.
Thank you, and always a pleasure.
Yeah, congratulations to the novelties, especially to that way of reducing everything to it's reduced to the max.
it's let's say the best sugar-free Coke you can get.
Thank you very much. We're very proud about it.
Thank you very much, and stay tuned, guys. The next interviews are just to follow.